STL Weight Loss. See the Dr. Joe difference at stlmedweightloss.com.
Good morning and welcome. This is the Frank and Jill Show on the Big 550 KTRS. We have a good one lined up for you today. We're actually talking pickleball with Ross Shavitz, Major League Pickleball coming to St. Louis, maybe the biggest tournament in the country. He'll be in studio with us at about 11:30. Joe Holloman at 11, and Dr. Rick is going to join us at 10:30. Connor McCarthy in the house. Jill Farmer, Frank Cusimano here till 12 o'clock. And by the way, we are live on Facebook as we speak at the Big 550 KTRS. How about that?
So YouTube, you can watch us on YouTube. You know, and I had somebody who a lot of folks in our listening audience might know, but I didn't ask permission, so I'm not going to share who they are, yesterday, who is not available during our regular show times from 10 to noon. But I'd put on LinkedIn that we are now on YouTube, and got just some really nice feedback about how they liked listening to the show, not in real time, but later time on YouTube, as they were kind of at home. Said it's like hanging out with some old friends.
You don't want to out them that they actually listen to the program. It would make them look bad.
No, but I have a habit of when somebody reaches out to me, if I don't talk about them on the radio unless I have their express permission.
Yeah, that's a good policy, unless it's Howard and you could out him at all times.
Yes, that's no problem. Connor, he'll tell me his deepest, darkest secrets, and I'll just reveal those to all of our listeners because they know and love him already as well. What you been doing the last 24 hours?
Myself, a lot of work, and then I did get 45 minutes of frustrating golf in between the 6 and the 10. I don't know.
Well, maybe because you didn't sleep on Sunday night. Do you think that?
I wish I could blame it on that, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm a mess. So
the consternation on his face right now is you'd think that we lost somebody close to him.
Yeah, Monique noticed it when I came home. She goes, "Well, did you have a bad show?" She could actually watch and figure it out. She goes, "No, you didn't have a bad show. You didn't hit the ball well." That's right.
So you're not so good at shaking off things when they don't go like you want them to?
How about you? Oh, you actually were playing pickleball. You saw Monique last night.
I did, and it was fun. She mimicked the enthusiasm that you shared yesterday on the show about your long, incredible weekend in Lake Tahoe. She said, it's one of those things that you think, oh yeah, I've seen a lot of pictures. I know what this is going to be like, and then you get there, and it sort of it exceeded everybody's expectations.
Yeah, no, you've been there.
Twice, yeah.
You're the only person I know who's been there. Everybody else says when I say I went there, oh, I've never been there. I mean, I swear to God, everybody says.
I know some people from St. Louis that go ski there, and there's a big boat show there.
Did you ski at the Olympic?
We didn't, because we've only done summer trips, right?
Okay,
we went or a fall. We did a mud season trip once on our anniversary and went out and did hiking, and then John organized for us to do a mountain bike ride. And he asked the guys who ran it if it was, because I'm not a technical mountain bike rider by any means, if it was going to be okay for his wife, who doesn't love being on sheer edges and isn't a technical mountain bike rider. I mean, the technical mountain bike rider can jump boulders and stuff.
Yeah.
That's not my jam. And they said, "Oh, bro, no problem. She'll be great. Yeah, bring her down here." And there were 2 times when I stopped on that ride and cried on our anniversary day ride because it was an old cattle trail right on the edge of the mountain there. And so I would stop suddenly and a rock would go down thousands of feet below me.
Oh, my goodness.
And I thought, this is not going to go well if I don't. So I did get off the bike and walk a couple of times, gave us a good story to tell. Rest of the trip, no death-defying experiences, and we loved it.
Well, how about when you go up to the aerial tram to see that Olympic Museum up there, and I think it was 8,200 feet. Mm-hmm. And then while you're going up that, you see people climbing mountains. Mm-hmm. I mean, right, you're 20 feet away from them while you're in this very comfortable aerial tram, which did have one accident, by the way, and 4 people died back in 1978. I checked on that. But I don't understand this, and maybe we have some texters. 84126, mountain climbing. I don't get it. I just do not get it.
You're talking about rock climbing.
Well, they were climbing mountains, but I guess it's rocks.
Yeah, because you can technically hike a mountain, which is still consignment mining, but you're not rappelling or you're not actually doing.
But the whole climbing aspect.
Were they free climbing or did they have ropes on them?
They were free climbing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I just don't understand.
I know.
Do you get a high from that? I mean,
Well, I mean, you were at 8,000 feet, and we were at 19,000 feet at the top of Kilimanjaro. So it gives you an
Yeah.
idea of how high that is. But it's not. I did know only one part of that climb is what we call scrambling, where you have to put your hands down and go up boulders, but not on sheer edges, where if your hand gets loose or
Oh
you have
my
a little
gosh.
sweaty palm, you fall to your death.
Frank, have you ever seen the movie Free Solo?
I have not.
I highly recommend it for you, maybe to get an insight onto the guy who climbs mountains with no ropes. It was a documentary done,
Wow.
won an Academy Award. Really good. I think it's probably on the Disney network of things. I don't know what they own at this point, but I really recommend that.
One caveat: if you're scared of heights like I am, it will make your blood pressure go through the roof.
There are a lot of cool shots with the drones, and they're up there on the cliff. If you're afraid of heights, you be prepared for some scenes with some
And
heights.
if you read the
Isn't
behind,
everybody in a sense? I mean,
Yes,
there are
yes.
varying degrees of being afraid of heights, but I think everybody is.
yeah, mine is if I'm on a sheer edge and there's no barrier there at all. Like I loved the Grand Canyon, and even if there was a 2-foot wall, I could stand up against it. But on the places where it was just the sheer edge, that's where I start to get a little wobbly.
So, Connor, I didn't see that movie, but in not so shocking news, I did see Sylvester Stallone in Cliffhanger. In 1993.
This one's a little more serious.
Yes.
This one's a little more real about
Yeah.
climbing. But yeah, Cliffhanger has its pros.
It was pretty good. I
Yeah.
thought it was good.
Yeah, I bet you there's a chance that Sylvester took some risks on that movie as well. He wasn't quite. I mean, he doesn't do Tom Cruise probably level of his own stunts, but he probably did some hard stuff.
All right, let's take our first break. We'll come back with the opening dialogue. This is the Frank and Jill Show on the Big 550 KTRS.
But first, our friends at Premier Heating and Cooling, my best friends right now, because they have been working with me because we had some outdated thermostats. Who cares about that? Well, you lose a lot of money when you cannot program your thermostat to move up and down, whether you're in the house and out of house, or whether there's a lot of energy being used by everybody else in the utility company at the same time, and certain times of the day energy costs more than other times of the day. So I finally bit the bullet, and we got new electronic thermostats put in all of the floors of our home, and that was a great thing that our friends at Premier Heating and Cooling helped me do that, because over the weekend a switch got tripped and our air conditioner went off. It was not running, and we were out of town. And being out of town with no air conditioning in a St. Louis summer in a historic brick oven style home, not a good thing. Fortunately for me, I was alerted that our air conditioner was turned off. I reached out to my friends at Premier Heating and Cooling. The technician who has worked on our house multiple times, knows our unit well, said, I'll be right out, and came out the next morning after I called them. After hours on Thursday, they were there the next morning, able to take care of the situation for us. Let a neighbor let them in. And because we trusted that tech so well, we knew we were in very, very good hands. Premier Heating Cooling, the company that you can trust for all of your air conditioning needs this summer as well. PremierHeatingCooling.net.
Diana from Newstetter's Fine Jewelers here to remind you, we don't just offer the best pieces, we offer one of the last master hand engravers in our country. My father can create timeless, personal, and unforgettable pieces. Come by our showroom at the corner of Big Ben and Doherty Ferry, or learn more online at wowdiamonds.com.
It's Julie Buck here for Dense Express STL. Let's talk about a live and local company that is really doing an incredible job. Let's shine a spotlight on this family-owned business. They are fantastic at what they do. And, of course, they fix your car when you have dents. I mean, we've had a lot of hail damage that's gone around lately, and there are some people that like to put it off. Well, don't worry. You can still get this covered, in most cases, under insurance. And our friends at Dense Express STL will actually take care of the paperwork for you, because that's one of the things that I feel like deters people from getting that repair done. But do it. Get your car back to looking good, making your ride look smooth. Also minor collision repairs, Dents Express STL, and they do want you to make an appointment. That's the best thing to do. It's just to make an appointment. You can simply do that online or you can call them. Find out more on their website. It's dentsexpressstl.com with 2 locations, one in St. Charles and one in
Are
Baldwin.
you old school or are you new school? Doesn't really matter, because if you need a hardware store, where do you go? Schnarr's Hardware, and their 2 locations, East Lockwood and Webster Groves, and of course their world headquarters on Clayton Road. You see, Schnarr's Hardware is one of those places where you walk in and you say, this thing broke off my toilet. Do you have one of these? Yeah, follow me. And they take you in the back and you pass 19 different aisles of things that you wish you could stop and look at. And do you need a 3-inch or a 4-inch? I think I need a 3-inch. Great. I'll buy 2 and I'll bring the other one back. That's why Schnarr's Hardware has been so successful. It's the customer service and the attention to detail. Whether you need fertilizer or whether you need something for the kitchen, maybe you need something for the big green egg. 2 locations, 1 great hardware store, Schnarr's Hardware. And yes, the popcorn is always free, as well as the smell, because it smells like a hardware store. East Lockwood and Webster Groves, and on Clayton Road in Ladue, Schnarr's or schnarrs.com. We'll see you there.
We sell siding, windows, doors, and decking by the truckload. My name is Julius Krasanik, celebrating 53 years in this business. Our company is Wholesale Siding Depot, and our seasoned customer service group has over 200 years of combined siding, window, door, and decking knowledge. My grandson Elijah says,
"Are you kidding me?"
the brands that we sell are durable, maintenance-free, and energy-saving. Featuring Anderson, CertainTeed, Viwinco, Provia, Masonite, TimberTech, and others, offering the best selection of styles and colors available in this industry. And better yet, our prices are wholesale every day. Last, our Peace of Mind initiative also includes a free contractor referral service to take care of your installation concerns or needs. You are just 1 click away from keeping it local, family, and professional. Please visit WSDepot.com. That's WSDepot.com.
It's Julie Buck here for AAA Travel. Let's talk about their featured vacations. Exclusive AAA Travel curated trips that offer unique travel opportunities, value, experiences that are not usually available off the shelf with other travel agencies or providers. One of the many featured vacation experiences offer a unique side of Italy on a guided tour featuring the treasures of Rome and stunning beauty of the Amalfi Coast. One-of-a-kind experiences with amazing savings. You're going to love this. For more, go to AAA.com/featured vacation.
Are you retired? Are you thinking about retiring? Who is helping you with retirement? Might be time to check out the show When Retirement Happens, hosted by Kevin Lloyd of Legacy Wealth Advisors. Saturday at 1, Sunday at noon on the Big 550 KTRS.
This is Mariah, 3rd generation at Newsteaders Fine Jewelry. Buying an engagement ring can be intimidating. At Newsteaders, we ensure complete understanding of your purchase. We offer a choice in both lab and mine-grown diamonds and are able to work with any budget. Let our family help educate you on your choice at Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or at wowdiamonds.com.
And now the opening dialogue with Frank and Jill on the Big 550 KTRS. Powered by Worldwide Technology Raceway.
All right, here we go. Thought 1. He remains one of the most fascinating figures I've ever been around, and I spent another hectic 30 minutes with him yesterday. When I came into the room, I was not greeted with a handshake because he was on the phone, making more arrangements for his big event. And while we were doing small talk before the actual interview, his phone rang 4 different times with a loud ringer before Tony La Russa actually turned off the sound. The man is 80 years old, and nothing has changed at all except a little more gray in his still long hairstyle, which hasn't changed in 50 years. He wears nothing but jeans, the shirt is never tucked, and even the button-down collar buttons were not buttoned up. You know, I was looking at this, and I think I've mentioned this before, that there have been over 2,000 people who have managed in Major League Baseball. At least one game. Only one of them has won more games than Anthony La Russa Jr. His total is 2902. And when I reminded him of that, he said, well, let me tell you, I was just in good situations, and there are a bunch of guys who could have won as many as I did if they were in my situation. But then a rare moment of bravado. I said to him, but only one guy in history has won more than you. And Tony said, yeah, but he was the owner of the team, so he kept his job longer because he would never fire himself, and his overall record was under 500, by the way. A rare moment of bravado and confidence from Tony La Russa. He was talking about Connie Mack. So after 3 decades of interviewing him, I finally got him to admit, yeah, I'm damn good. Love him.
Bravado or just fact checking? I don't know. Depends on your perspective, right? Well, the Epstein files or lack of them continue to dominate the national news cycle, for better or for worse. It really caught my ear this morning, though. St. Louis native and News Nation Washington bureau chief Leland Vittert had an interesting conversation with Fox 2's John Pertzborn on local news this morning. Here's what he had to say. Interesting topic. What do you guys think on the Royal Banks of Missouri text line? Much ado about nothing, where the whole conspiracy theory talk, just an attempt for the conflict entrepreneurs to get themselves clicks and views before, and we can finally put the darn thing to rest, as many moderates on both sides of the aisle are claiming, or the very far right and many on the left now are saying, no, we still need more details on this. What are your thoughts?
Well, you can't promise the world. You can't promise, hey, we're going to reveal everything. We're going to tell you this and then deliver nothing. I mean, the administration has blown this, and I think people want to know. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But they were in roles that weren't privy to what they thought they knew back when they were promising that. When they had the microphone behind, as again, they were commentators. They weren't public officials.
Well, Pam Bondi, as a public official, went on national television and did promise.
So there's pushback is deserved there. I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
So I think they've messed this up pretty bad. So, and I think we deserve to know. I mean, I don't want to see video of Epstein with little girls or anything like that, but I think we need to know. All right, thought 2. The older you get, you likely change your workouts. Don't we all agree with this? Because the older you get, it's more out of prevention. I mean, I played pickup basketball from age 22 to 30 almost every day. Then from like 30 to 60, I pounded the heck out of treadmills and lifted. I don't want to do as much of that anymore. Some, but not every day. I mean, who really wants to do that? But, you play tennis because you like it. You play pickleball. You walk 18 holes in heat because you love, the actual fun of the sport. Anyway, I'm reading, yes, AARP magazine, AARP. It's a really good magazine, by the way. Rod Stewart dons the cover this month. Fascinating guy, great interview, great story. But anyway, he talked about his new workout idea. And he has a trainer who's with him every day and who's been with him every day for like 30 years. That's why at age 80, he looks, spectacular. But this is the first time I've ever heard this. He actually trains for the 100-yard dash. He works at it constantly. His goal at first was to break 20 seconds, and now at age 80, he wants to get to like under 18. Seems kind of slow, but I thought, wait a minute, he's 80 years old, and he's running 100 yards at, as fast as he can possibly run. It's freaking amazing. I'm going to ask Dr. Rick about this idea, but I think it's really kind of cool. Rod Stewart has this way of training, and he's working on the 100-yard dash.
I had somebody I'm friends with on social media who's a few years younger than me, but still, their workout was to do a broad jump around the track for 400 yards, a bear climb.
Standing broad jump. You just keep broad jumping like a frog.
Yes, and then a bear climb 400 yards, and then jog 400 yards. And that's a hard workout.
Wait a minute, sorry. You go around the track one time broad jumping.
Yes.
Then you run around the track?
No, then you bear climb, on all fours and hands. I know.
And then you run?
And then you run it.
That's a good workout.
A good workout or insane. I mean, that's a very long distance to do that. I did walk from the car to the house, from the car to the house at least 3 times yesterday. So I think that counts for a lot, don't you guys? Can't we agree on that? Already found some of you weighing in on the Royal Banks of Missouri text line. Why is Jelaine Maxwell in prison for sex trafficking if there is no client list? Are we actually supposed to believe Jeff Epstein was the only one who was abusing girls? I think that is a valid question. Second thought for me today, new law signed by Governor Kehoe, not getting the attention of some of the other higher profile bills passed in the legislative session, like stadium funding, expansion of school vouchers. This lesser known new legislation now paves the way for electronic wills in Missouri, as in a will that you could do from the computer at home. And Missouri has recently enacted legislation, the Missouri Electronic Wills and Electronic Estate Planning Documents Act allows for the creation, execution, and storage of electronic wills. Advocates say the new bill makes getting a will a lot easier and more likely that they will happen. So it's kind of interesting. If you want more information on that, Mike Colombo and some others locally here, local news reporting, if he's from Contact 2, of course, have been doing some preliminary reporting on it. People who are critics of it say you got to watch out. You don't want to get scammed and think that you have filed a will that is not able to be executed after you die. So there is some caveats to it, but it should make the whole process more accessible to more people. Now, whether people take advantage of it or not, we'll soon see.
Yeah, boy, and you can just save yourself a lot of heartache and your kids a lot of heartache. I mean, most people are doing the living trust now, right?
If you have anything outside of just, say, the most basic, maybe a house and a small savings account, you will save your family a lot of money after you die, potentially, as well as time by putting it in a trust versus a will. And that's all I know. That's you've just reached the capacity of all I know from a legal perspective about those two things.
Here's a question, though. If you let's just say you had 2 kids and you love them both the same, but one of them has done okay and one of them has not, would you alter your living trust or will to give more to the one who needs it?
Yeah, I mean, that's a classic conversation that family lawyers deal with all the time, and often leaves pain, suffering, and heartache and family division for generations to come, because it's a tale as old as time that parents decide that one kid needs it more, deserves it more than the other, and it's a painful thing.
I think the only way to deal with that is that you're really upfront with the one who is going to get less because they're doing well. And I think if you just have a heart-to-heart and tell them, hey, this is our situation. We think this is the way to go. I want you to know. And and actually give them a little bit of input on it.
Right.
too.
Now, we won't tell anybody, but just between us right now, which one of your kids is going to get more money because they're not because you're more worried about them than the other two.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I want to be that kid in some ways, too. It's like mom and dad didn't think I was ever going to be able to make it, so they had to come rescue me after death.
I remember I was say the confidence level my brother had in me once when I was trying to get into media, and my dad had like a little property, and he said, we'll make sure that Frank gets that because he's going to be a sports writer making $16,500 his whole life, and he'll need it. Thanks. Thanks, Mark. All right. Thought 3. Couple of light questions for our audience. Best patio for St. Louis happy hour as we get to a great happy hour time in St. Louis outside. I think I can't beat Cafe Napoli in Cleveland. The people watching the food, pretty good. It's National Orange Chicken Day. Chinese food doesn't get enough respect. Have you ever had a bad orange chicken? And where is the best in town? I have not seen it yet, but has anybody watched the Jim Abbott story on ESPN Plus? The one-arm pitcher who threw a no-hitter for the Yankees. I just saw like a preview of it, and it looks like it's going to be spectacular. I can't wait to watch it.
Oh, really cool. If you look at the numbers from the MLB All-Star Game, America's pastime on the upswing. Ticket prices for the marquee MLB All-Star week event in Atlanta, culminating with tonight's All-Star Game. Highest in over a decade. TV viewership and All-Star Week are positive signs, as many say, for America's pastime. Any guess what the average price of last night's home run derby was? Ticket price? Do you guys have any guess?
To the home run derby?
To get in.
Mm-hmm.
Average, you're saying?
This is
All right, I'll
average
say
price according to Axios this morning.
$215.
I mean, I can't imagine it would be that high. $150.
$1,041.
No way.
Yep.
It just can't be worth it.
$1,200 for tonight's All-Star Game. Next highest price for those two events, $604 and $754 in 2023 when the Midsummer Classic took place in Seattle. That was surprising to me. I mean, good for those Americans who are doing well enough to pay $1,000 a pop.
I know all you want to do is talk about sports, and we're not a sports show, Jill, but I will say this since you brought it up. It was really a beautiful story last night. Cal Raleigh won the home run derby with his dad throwing BP and his brother catching.
I saw that.
I mean, it was just
and
awesome.
and catchers don't. I mean, is this the first time that a catcher wins this?
Yes, it is. First time a catcher has won it, and the first time a switch hitter has won it. And he's on his way to maybe breaking Mickey Mantle's record for most home runs in a season by a switch hitter, most home runs by a catcher, breaking Johnny Bench's record. So it's pretty cool. All right, we'll take a short time out. We're getting a vote for Bishop's Post for best happy hour. We're talking about outdoor patio dining.
Yeah, that is an excellent first what would I say? Somebody suggesting that for us, because that's a great place. Miller Furniture, fourth generation, family-owned business, flagship location in Belleville, Illinois, plus a 55,000 square foot showroom in Fairview Heights. Of course, one of my favorite places, actually my favorite place, to shop for furniture, indoor or outdoor, in St. Louis is Miller Furniture. And that's because not only do they have an excellent selection that runs from the most modern, the trendiest, the newest things you're going to see right out of the home decor magazines, to the classic pieces that you could have for generations to come, and your kids and grandkids will want to have them, great-grandkids want to have them in their house too. They also have absolutely fantastic customer service. They go above and beyond, not to help you find the pieces that you're looking for or learn about the pieces that you didn't know you were looking for, but that are going to make your house look more beautiful than ever. And that's because their design team at Miller Furniture is excellent at helping you measure out your space and make sure that the furniture fits exactly right. You ever been to somebody's house and you're like, gosh, that's a nice looking couch, but it does not seem to actually work in this room. That takes away from the enjoyment and makes your living space less usable and less functional for you. Other locations for Miller Furniture, of course, include St. Louis, Lake St. Louis at the Meadow Shopping Center, and Ellisville off Manchester Road. They will love to take care of you, love to help make your home beautiful, love to make your outdoor space an addition, an extension of your living space in your home as well. Visit MUELLER Furniture.com, or better yet, stop by one of their 4 locations today.
And now, KTRS weather from the John Beal Roofing Weather Desk.
We're stuck in a pattern where humidity will continue to ride high at least through the weekend and probably beyond. And today, let's be ready for some spotty to scattered storms to develop this afternoon. They'll fade away as we head into this evening. Not everybody gets rain today, but if you do get caught under one of these, some briefly strong winds and very heavy rain are possible. 89 should do it for the high, but the heat index touches 95. Looking at dry time tonight, under partly cloudy skies, down to 75 for the low. And then for Wednesday, it's hot. 93, top heat index tomorrow at 101, partly cloudy with a lower 20% chance of storms on Wednesday. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers for the Big 550 KTRS.
John Beal Roofing is the home of the lowest price roofing guarantee. Get a free estimate today at johnbealroofing.com.
At Maryville University, we power dreams, not just degrees. For nearly 150 years, we've empowered graduates to build successful careers. At Maryville, expect a rigorous, technology-driven, mentor-inspired education in a diverse and inclusive learning environment. We help you take it to the next level, no matter what field you choose. Now is the time to turn your ambition into action and transform your dream into reality. Start your journey at maryville.edu.
Becoming a truck driver doesn't have to be complicated. At Schneider, we make it easy to get your commercial driver's license and start your new career. With our CDL apprenticeship training, you'll get paid to become a truck driver in just 5 to 6 weeks and have a Schneider driving job waiting for you when you've completed the program. Plus, during training, Schneider will provide transportation, lodging, and meals at no cost to you. Ready to get your career on the road? Learn more and apply today at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset? Few can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor and Pella Windows specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation, 314-569-1050. And have a Banner day.
Hello, I'm Joe Cordell, founder of Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is complicated, especially when your small business or professional practice is involved. At Cordell & Cordell, we understand that these assets raise unique valuation and allocation issues. For 35 years, we've helped doctors, lawyers, and small business owners navigate divorce with confidence. Call Cordell & Cordell today because your business is more than a job, it's your legacy.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis. CordellCordell.com.
It's Julie Buck here to tell you that the patio is open at Bishop's Post right next to Chesterfield Mall. Get your reservations in now and go to Bishop's Post. You will love it. Tell them Julie Buck sent you. BishopsPost.com.
At Midland, we know sometimes all it takes is a moment for an idea to spark, or to make it happen, a moment to find your dream, or build one, a moment to start your forever, or at least start planning for it. Whatever moments you have, Midland is here for them and can help you make them. Midland, brighter together. Visit us at midlandsb.com. Midland States Bank is member FDIC.
All right, welcome back. This is the Frank and Jill Show on the Big 550 KTRS. Joe Holloman at 11, Ross Shavitz in-house at 11:35, talking Major League Pickleball. Dr. Rick, you were a great tennis player at one time. Have you played some pickleball in your life?
You know, I played a little pickleball, and I'm not 100% sold. I know you guys play or played, and I'm not 100% sold, but I cannot believe how popular pickleball is. I mean, we see more people that have had, quote unquote, pickleball injuries. So this is going through the roof. Pro Jack Sock, a kid I took care of on the ATP tour for years, now is playing pro pickleball. So it's just taken off.
Well, it's actually built another home for you, right? It's because it's called Crippleball, and they're flocking to orthopedic surgeons like yourself.
Well, I hate to say it, but yes, I think what happens is you get out there, maybe you weren't the best of athletes, but you're getting some exercise, you're having some fun, and then maybe something happens.
All right, I got a quick one. Rod Stewart on AARP magazine revealed that one of his big workout regimens is working on his 100-yard dash speed. His goal was to break 20. Now it's to break 18. And the guy is only 80 years old. What do you think about that? Those quick bursts for a workout?
Well, I don't think there's anything better. And I think if you read a lot of the literature in orthopedics, they'll tell you that people quit working on their speed and working on their push-off and, sort of these high-intensity exercises as they get older, which is the worst thing you can do. So I'm a big proponent. I do these squat jumps and all these crazy things. I run 40s. I don't run 100s. And, I'm not very fast. But, I think for a guy who's that age, to be able to train like that is huge. So, again, I think that's amazing. And if Rod Stewart can run an 18-second 100, now he was a very good soccer player in his day, so
yes.
Maybe I take that back. But that's still pretty amazing.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to a 2-minute 100, so I'll let you know when I get there sometime. This from the BBC Science reporting this morning that a single shot of a new drug may lower cholesterol levels by up to 69%. Tell us this, what the magic of Verve is.
Well, first of all, it's a completely different. So the way we've always addressed cholesterol is completely different, and this is actually altering the DNA so that the LDL, which is kind of the important component of your cholesterol, high density lipoproteins, low density lipoproteins, can has a better place to absorb, so it doesn't get in your bloodstream. So this is a genetic alteration of your DNA as opposed to just trying to decrease the LDLs in your bloodstream, like we've always done with statins. And basically, they're in phase 1 trials. I think everybody who has money should go out and invest in this thing. This is a crazy way to go, but they're showing forever 65% decrease in your cholesterol. So if you have a family history or you're somebody who is overweight, I mean, there's just so many indications for this. And it's groundbreaking. It's truly groundbreaking. So, again, we'll keep an eye on this. There's probably 5 or 6 years away you can really get the injection, but I'm 100 on this. I think this is amazing. And this Verve 102, I saw the research about 2 or 3 years ago when they were doing it on animals, and it's absolutely transferable, meaning it's probably going to work just as well in humans. So, again, keep an eye on it.
So cancer deaths from obesity have tripled in 20 years, and some states in particular have the highest rates. How about Missouri in this?
Missouri is like where it always is, in the middle. Vermont, Minnesota, I mean, some of these are just through the roof. I think we don't really understand. I mean, we kind of are learning, but we don't really understand all the implications of obesity. So it's heart disease, it's heart on your knees, it's diabetes, type 2 diabetes, et cetera. And now we're seeing the rates triple in obese-related cancer. So again, for everybody out there who can try to lose weight, if you have to get on Ozempic or whatever you have to do, but I think it's the one thing that some people can do, everybody can't do it, that helps. So what are the 3 things you can do? You can exercise. You just walk around your block, exercise. 2, you can quit smoking. Not so easy, but very, very beneficial. And 3, try to get your weight, your BMI below 30. And I think if you do those things, your health is going to be much better, but your cancer risk goes way down.
So let's talk a little bit about sleep. As a woman of a certain age, this was not great news. This new study that's saying that midlife sleep quality for women over the age of 45 may be a significant risk factor when it comes to cardiovascular incidents later in life. So if you're not sleeping well and you're over the age of 45 plus, that it actually can have a negative effect on our heart health. Tell us more.
Well, I think you have to walk this back just a little bit, Jill. Number one, 62 to 65% of women over the age of 40 don't sleep well. So this is not an insignificant problem. And men are not that much better. Number 2, men and women at the age of 25 who don't sleep well have a triple incidence of depression. So it's not just people 45. Now you're 45 years old, you're not sleeping that well it could be hormonal, it could be a million reasons. And what do you find? You find that your incidence of cardiovascular disease goes through the roof. And that's true. And if you think about it, if you do all your healing when you sleep, things settle down, your bones heal, your muscles heal, you refresh, your heart gets a break, your cardiovascular system gets a break. And now, all of a sudden, it doesn't get any break because you're up every 2 hours, you can't sleep, you're thinking about stuff, and all the rest, all the healing that should be going on in your sleep patterns aren't happening. It just makes sense that you're going to have a higher incidence of cardiovascular disease, and it's also stroke. So for people out there, go see somebody. Go see a sleep doctor. You may need to get on some medication. There's all kinds of apps. There's all kinds of things that tell you no blue light, cool the room down. So there's probably 6 or 7 things that can help you sleep. And if you have to go on low-dose medication, and THC is maybe one of the better ones, you should do that. But not sleeping is not good.
All right. How about the importance of morning workouts and contributing to weight loss?
Well, this is interesting. This is interesting because you would think that if you work out, you're going to lose weight. And in some element that's true. But the truth of the matter is if your workouts are between 7 and 9 in the morning, your incidence of losing weight is much higher than if you're going to work out, let's say, in the afternoon or night. And I think a lot of it is all your endorphins and your dopamine and everything kind of gets jacked up from your workout. And I think those things are elevated throughout the day, and they decrease your load and your calorie intake. So again, if you can, you're better to work out in the morning. Now, really, if you want to know the true answer to this question, you probably should work out pretty hard in the morning and then get on whatever. You walk around your block, get on a treadmill, and do maybe a 15 or 20-minute walk after dinner. And that gives you the highest incidence of weight loss.
Okay, a couple questions from the Royal Banks of Missouri text line I want to get to before we let you go. How does someone 72 years old get started exercising?
Well, that's a great question. And I think that's a huge problem for people that have been sedentary. So the first thing I would do is I would say, all right, I'm going to go and I'm going to walk. I'll go to the local track, figure 100 yards, and I would walk 100 yards. I don't care how long it takes, 2 minutes, 2 days, going to walk 100 yards. And you walk 100 yards for a week, and in the next week, you walk 200 yards. And when you can walk a mile, you're ready to go to the gym and start some light resistance training. And I can give you the apps. The apps are all over the internet. And you want the apps for somebody 70 plus, and they're very lightweight, high reps. But you have to be able to walk a mile before you can do that. And once you can walk and then you start in the gym, the rest of this is just going to take off because you're going to see the app. It's going to show you the progression. But again, the first step is the first step, and you got to take that first step.
Good stuff, Dr. Rick. We will talk next week. Thanks so much for your time.
You guys take care.
Dr. Rick always has such good information. And somebody asking about the formula for BMI, which we didn't have time to get to, but you can actually Google that. And if you just a BMI calculator, and you can put in your height and weight, and it should calculate that for you. Altair Travel and Cruises, daughter Jane getting married next May. We were talking over the weekend while we were together about what they're thinking for a honeymoon. And she said, it's kind of overwhelming when you get on the internet. They're thinking maybe beach vacation, relax a little bit after all the wedding hubbub. And I said, it is overwhelming, and it really does help to have somebody who can help you pinpoint locations based on price, based on time of year, based on previous experiences, based on what kind of amenities you want, whether you want an all-inclusive or you want to stay in a hotel and have more options for eating out different places. I really suggest that you reach out to our friends at Altair Travel and Cruises. So guess what? Haley at Altair Travel and Cruises, super good at honeymoons. I reached out to her and said, are you willing to help my daughter out? She said, of course, love doing it. Put those two together, and I can't wait to see what they cook up together, because I know with all the other wedding planning, with all the other overwhelming parts of this process, having somebody who is an expert beyond experts at being able to help figure it out and make it the week with memories for a lifetime after my daughter's wedding next May. I couldn't feel better about having her in the hands of our friends at Altair Travel and Cruises. And of course, Haley is the granddaughter of the great Pat Blassie, who was at the helm at Altair for so many years. And when I say there are generations of people who understand travel at Altair Travel and Cruises, that's exactly what I'm talking about. AltairTravel.com, 314-968-9600.
When you go and get your car washed, do you really care which car wash you go to? Yes, because not all car washes are created equal. Country Club Car Wash is the local family-owned and family-operated car wash since 1989. All these other ones that are popping up, they're all run by out-of-town hedge funds. Keep it local. Keep it great. Touchless car washes, no brushes, inside and out. 5 area locations, Country Club Car Wash, or cccwstl.com.
Most people think if I name my husband as beneficiary, everything's going to be okay, and that's not necessarily true.
I'm Scott Garcia with Premier Estate and Income Planning.
What am I doing taking care of people after somebody has passed and all the mess that comes with that?
And I'm Jennifer Cermak, Chief Counsel and Estate Planning Attorney of Premier Estate and Income Planning.
No longer is the attorney the gatekeeper to your lives.
Let us show you how to protect your assets, avoid probate, and retire with confidence.
Having an estate plan could be the most important document you could ever have.
The premier income and estate planning show. This Saturday at 4 and this Sunday morning at 7 on the Big 550 KTRS.
We aren't asking you to volunteer for CASA. We're asking you to advocate for
Alex,
Andre,
Ava,
Max,
Olivia, Ciara.
CASA volunteers make a lasting impact in a child's life in only a few volunteer hours a week. As a CASA volunteer, you support a child throughout their experience in foster care, advocating for their needs and ensuring their voice is heard.
Learn more at mocasa.org. Paid for by the Missouri CASA Association.
Do you love pickleball? Experience Major League Pickleball right here in St. Louis, July 17th through the 20th at Chavis Arena. Feel the energy as the world's best teams battle it out for first place. Every serve, rally, and point. It's electric. It's more than a match. Enjoy great food, fun activities, and an exciting family-friendly atmosphere. Meet the stars, get autographs, and see all the action up close. Tickets are limited, so get them now at MLPSTL.com. That's MLPSTL.com. Major League Pickleball. There's nothing else like it.
Hey, it's Heidi Glaus, and I want to remind you to tune in to the Heidi Glaus Show with Bob Ramsey and Josh Gilbert weekdays from 3 to 6. You don't want to miss all the fun. Plus, twice a month, we're joined by Dr. Ravi Johar, the Chief Medical Officer for United Healthcare. Dr. Johar and United Healthcare will keep us informed and educated about everything happening in the healthcare system, plus important facts to keep us healthy. United Healthcare and the Heidi Glaus Show on the Big 550 KTRS.
The storms are back, the wind, the hail, the damage to the roof. And when the roof gets damaged, who do you call? You call John Bill Roofing. But the storms are back. You know who else follows the storms? The storm chasers. These are the teams of people who come and leave a note on your door, mailbox, maybe your windshield wiper, and they tell you to call, and you think you're getting a deal. You give them half the money, and you never see them again. With John Bill Roofing, they've been in this business for a long time right here in St. Louis. They live, work, and play, and they guarantee you to give you the best price on your roof. When the roof gets damaged, your first phone call is to John Bill Roofing, 1-800-NEW-ROOF, 1-800-NEW-ROOF, or johnbillroofing.com. Roofing, siding, gutters, John Bill Roofing. Residential, commercial, industrial, a company you can trust, a company that lives, works, and plays right here in St. Louis. Make it local. Make it John Beal or johnbillroofing.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Already wrapping up the first hour of the Frank and Jill Show. Hope you're checking us out on YouTube as well and live on Facebook for the first time today as well. Very fun first hour, flew by as usual. We have an excellent second hour coming up. Some hot topics that we're going to cover with Joe Holloman of the Post-Dispatch, and then Ross Chaffetz of Major League Pickleball. You know, you recognize the name every time you drive by on Highway 64, the arena at SLU. His dad, Richard, a great entrepreneur as well as an incredible philanthropist in our area, and in recent years, a pickleball enthusiast.
One of the questions we discussed earlier about if you were a parent and let's just say you had two kids, if you would give a little bit more in your trust or your will to the one who needs it more, or would you make it equal? And a couple of good responses. It depends on if the one was a screw up, why give money to a drug addiction? Here's another one. I disagree. Why should you reward the child that doesn't want to apply themselves and wants to live in a van down by the river? Clever line, Chris Farley, with more money. So, yeah,
I mean,
there's
I think
pros and
psychologists
cons.
would say maybe you could have the conversation with the child that wasn't going to get as much and see if they had buy-in or if they could be part of the choice to make that happen, because you're going to have less, I think, residual resentment, which is, you know, not a great thing to leave behind as a legacy as a parent either.
But here's the thing, if the one did not have any demons and tried to do as well as the other, and the other just did better, maybe because of the job, a different profession, I think I would want to help out the one that needs it a little bit more.
It's super interesting because I work with some psychologists and therapists in town who do a lot in the generational wealth or family business aspect of consulting and coaching. And when I say that generational wealth is not always the gift that people wish it was, in terms of wouldn't it be nice if I just knew my life was secure because I was going to inherit a bunch of money. And that just sounds great to those of us who come from families where there isn't inherited wealth, where everybody lives a good life, works hard, but doesn't have millions to leave behind for the next generation. Sometimes we think that would just solve a lot of problems, but I've learned firsthand in that work that it often creates as many or more problems than it solves.
Sure it does. Here's another angle. In fact, there's a new book out. It may be called The Ground Zero, and it's just out, and it's talking about, I'm not sure if it's called, it's something, the word zero in the title, but it's something about making sure you give away the money while the kids need it at the most important time, if there is money, between like 25 and 40. I'm not saying give it all away, but when they're trying to buy a house or to buy a car or pay for tuitions, that's the time to give it. That's the whole emphasis of the book. And it makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, getting that money in to pay for college educations for grandkids, or helping on that down payment for the house, and then being able, because the younger any generation starts saving, and if they have help doing those big expenses and they're able to save sooner, the more likely they are to have a comfortable retirement. You make a very, very good point. Lots more good points to be made. Lots of fun conversation coming up in our second hour. Don't go away. We'll be right back after the news.
When you speed, you have less time to react. Follow the speed limit to keep other road users safe. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
Now there's a new way to take charge of your blood sugar. Introducing New Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula from the makers of the nation's best-selling garlic supplement. New Garlic helps maintain healthy blood sugar levels with clinically supported levels of garlic, plus a custom blend of vitamins and minerals, and it's odor-free. Take charge of your blood sugar with New Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
Chronic migraine is 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine before they start. It's not for those with 14 or fewer headache days a month. It prevents on average 8 to 9 headache days a month versus 6 to 7 for placebo.
Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, including ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Why wait? Ask your doctor, visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com, or call 1-800-44-BOTOX to learn more.
Beauty in Forest Park. Her legacy, her power, her story. The pop rock phenomenon Evita returns to the Muni stage July 18th through 24th, sponsored by Emerson. For tickets, visit muni.org.
The home of ABC News. KTRS AM, FM 1061, K291CW St. Louis.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Backlash building following the Supreme Court's decision allowing the Trump administration to begin dismantling the Education Department. ABC's Stephen Portnoy has more on the impact to students.
The Education Department doesn't direct curricula. States and school districts do that. But it does distribute an enormous amount of federal money, and it enforces civil rights laws. The Trump administration appears interested in spinning off various parts of the department to other agencies. Student loans, for instance, could be given over to Treasury. Aid for students with disabilities could become the responsibility of HHS. Many school administrators across the country are nervous about the ramifications, but White House allies argue the Education Department's bureaucracy is too bloated and it needs to be wound down.
The Senate is poised to take up a bipartisan measure that would allow more sanctions against Russia. President Trump voicing frustration over Russia's escalating attacks in Ukraine and now striking an arms deal with NATO to send defense weapons and Patriot missiles to Ukraine. The president also giving Russia's Vladimir Putin 50 days to finalize a ceasefire deal or face stiff tariffs. ABC's Ian Pannell is in Kyiv.
This past month was the deadliest of the war for civilians in Ukraine, with Russian airstrikes pummeling Ukrainian cities night after night. The new tariff threats designed to force Russia to finally negotiate a ceasefire. Trump's long spoken glowingly of Putin, now accusing him of deception.
The Kremlin says it is taking time to analyze President Trump's latest comments. As the Federal Reserve weighs an interest rate cut, new data showing inflation is up.
The CPI for last month showed an uptick in both the headline and the core readings, and analysts say tariffs on imported goods are likely behind the rise. Prices for all items were up 0.3% between May and June and 2.7% higher year over year. The Fed would like to see that figure drop to 2% before cutting interest rates.
ABC's Jim Ryan reporting. On Wall Street today, stocks are mixed in afternoon trading. You're listening to ABC News.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code EARN to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code EARN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code EARN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
84 degrees at 11:03 with KTRS News. I'm Steve Potter. Nearly 3 dozen more members of Missouri Task Force 1 are headed to Texas to help with flood relief efforts. Meanwhile, an urban search and rescue team from Illinois is also there. This group of 39 rescuers from fire departments will be on the ground in Texas for up to 14 days. The city of St. Louis is inviting residents to attend one of 2 open houses celebrating the completion of the Transportation and Mobility Plan draft after a year of gathering feedback about the city's streets and sidewalks. Open houses will be tomorrow from 5 until 7 p.m. at the Piper Palm House at Tower Grove Park, and then Saturday from 11 a.m. until 1 o'clock at the Rock Church on Kennedy Avenue. St. Louis Public Schools have approved a revised plan to relocate more than 2,000 students displaced by the tornado.
During a Board of Education meeting last night, the board made significant changes to the initial plan. Sumner High School students will now move to the vacant Stevens Middle School instead of Clyde C. Miller. Yeatman Little Middle School will relocate to Blewett, which currently houses an alternative program, and career training programs from Beaumont will be transferred to Miller, and Soldan High will operate out of Gateway STEM. Meanwhile, the elementary school relocations will stick to its original plan. Jill Enters, KTRS News.
Governor J.B. Pritzker is taking action against any negative effects of President Trump's tariffs in Illinois. The governor signed an executive order directing state agencies to evaluate the scale and impact of how Trump's tariffs will affect key economic sectors and the increased costs that will be passed on to working families. Pritzker joins other governors who are taking similar executive actions at the state level, including those in Arizona, Colorado, Maryland, New York, Oregon, and Washington. Six Flags is reinstating a policy to ensure that guests ages 15 and under are supervised while there.
Guests of Six Flags under 16 years of age will need to be accompanied by a parent, guardian, or adult who is at least 21 years old to enter and remain in the park. These chaperones will need to present a valid government-issued photo ID, and each chaperone can accompany no more than 10 guests. Chaperones must remain in the park the entire time and be accessible by phone. Park officials say anyone 15 and under without a chaperone will be removed. The chaperone policy goes into effect this Thursday, July 17th. Sobe Bay, KTRS News.
And today is the last day that nominations will be accepted for the 2025 Illinois Outdoor Hall of Fame, which honors people who've made contributions to conservation and outdoor recreation across the state. Those selected will be inducted to the Outdoor Hall of Fame next spring. More information can be found on the Illinois Conservation Foundation website. This KTRS Business Minute brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. You can place your order anytime at WKF.com. In the markets, the Dow is down 260 points at 44,199. NASDAQ up 145 at 20,786. And the S&P 500 up 1 at 6,269. In sports, the Blues have announced their preseason schedule for the upcoming year. The exhibition opener will take place on Saturday, September the 20th in Dallas against the Stars. Our forecast calls for a 40% chance for scattered showers today, a high near 88. Mostly cloudy tonight with an overnight low in the mid-70s, and a 20% chance for rain tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow's high near 96 with heat index values as high as 103. Coming up on 7 minutes past 11 o'clock, mostly cloudy, 84 degrees at the Gold Tower at Westport. Steve Potter, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
All right, welcome back. Frank and Jill Show. Frank Cusimano, Jill Farmer, Connor McCarthy. We're here till 12 o'clock on Tuesdays at 11. We chat with the great Joe Holloman from the Post-Dispatch. Joe, one of our topics today, and you're a man of incredible wealth. Let's just say you have 2 kids, right?
I do.
2 kids?
I do, 2. Yep, boy and girl.
Gotcha. Okay, my volume was down. All right, so let's just say one of them was doing better than the other. In your living trust or will, would you give them equally the same amount, or would you tilt it towards the one who would need it a little bit more?
I'd split it. It's right down the middle. I mean, I'd give $100 to one and $100 to the other. I'd give them all my worldly possessions. So I don't know. I mean, interesting question. That's an interesting question. But I guess generally speaking, I would think, it would sort of be like dividing your affection. And since to me, it's a more of a sign of affection in a way, I guess. I would probably split it.
Yeah, okay. I think I'm with you on that. I think the psychological repercussions of not having it be equal could be hard to overcome.
Right. I'm going to try to spend it all, though, before I go. So, I mean,
no dilemma then.
That last dollar as they're checking me out, it's like, here you go.
There's
a dollar tip for the guy at the mortuary.
And hasn't one of your boys done extremely well in the automotive industry?
Yeah, he was now moved into the credit industry.
Oh, so, good.
They're both doing very well. And, as someone said, they told me back when my youngest, my daughter, moved out a few years ago after she got out of college and grad school. And I was somewhere, and the gentleman who owned the drinking establishment where me and a couple of friends were at, told him about how my daughter moved out, and he said, well, congratulations. He said, you're triple E rated. And I said, you mean triple A? And he said, no, triple E. I said, what's that? And he said, it means your kids are educated, employed, and elsewhere. And that was like, now they say that, that's great. So as I told him when he moved out, I said, anytime you want to come to Sunday dinner, it's a standing invitation. Otherwise, get the hell out of it.
There's some data that backs up the way you think about all this in terms of how independent kids are when they know it's kind of that there's something good that comes from that, not just for them, but for everybody else as well. Hey, doing some reporting today on Wesley Bell getting a sizable campaign donation from a union, and it doesn't seem to be showing up anywhere in the records or on the books.
Yeah, always interesting, and I kind of consider one of our things is to keep our eye on the money that politicians raise, and it came to my attention that there was a $50,000 donation made last year to Congressman Bell's campaign by a labor union political action committee nothing unusual, $50,000. There was a lot of money raised in that Wesley Bell versus Cori Bush race. It just didn't show up on any reports, which is, of course, violation of federal campaign laws. And so looking into it, and I guess it'll be a scoop right here on KTRS, just got off the phone with the person who yesterday was unavailable to talk to, the treasurer of that Wesley Bell Political Action Committee that received it, and said that, yes, they did get that money, and yes, they're going to file an amended report saying that, yes, indeed, we have $50,000 more than we were reporting.
Thanks to you.
That's, it's just sometimes you just got to keep your eye on the money, keep them honest, I guess is what to say, though I'm not saying anybody was attempting to do anything dishonest, but there's reporting laws for reasons.
What about Wesley Bell's political future? Does he have a bright one? I mean, is he a potential United States senator in this red state we live in?
Offhand, I would say that would be an uphill push. I mean, what's going to happen in the first district? I think I don't think that was a seat. Well, it didn't change forever. It went from, if everybody remembers, Bill Clay Sr. To Bill Clay Jr., and that was, close to 40 years was controlled basically by one family. Cori Bush pulled an upset and had the potential of a long run there as well, except made herself so controversial. I think that she kind of gave away the advantage that she had of being the incumbent. It's real tough to unseat two-year incumbents. When you think about it, you think, well, senators would be easy. But, a 2-year, they're running all the time. And so it's just they never get out of campaign mode. And they're always keeping an eye on that next election. I think senators sometimes can think, well, I just won. I've got 6 years to go, and may end up doing things that aggravates their voter base or, alienates them. I think U.S. representatives, that's why you have these 17-term representatives, is that after a while it just becomes inertia. So I would think as far as the first district, everybody talks about, well, is Cori Bush going to run again? When I talked to her at the Josh Hawley event last week before I was on the air with you guys, or after I was on the air with you guys, went to a press conference that Hawley had. Cori Bush was there, very non-committal about whether or not she was going to run again. But I would think that he's very safe there. Taking that appeal that Wesley Bell would have in the city and North County and trying to translate that across a red state, I think that would be pretty much an uphill battle.
As somebody who keeps their finger on the pulse of what's happening in politics in our region on a variety of levels, of course, we've had a new mayor in the city of St. Louis, very public position, for a number of months now. And I've been struck by when we are interviewing, I'll just say it simply, movers and shakers in here, top business leaders, everybody from, Steve Shankman, Bob O'Loughlin, and others. They have been pretty complimentary. They were pretty vocal about who they wanted to win the race, and now that she has been in office for a while and watching the way that she's handled things like the tornadoes in our area, pretty complimentary. Deserved, too soon to tell? And if so, how long do we wait before we really assess the performance of a new leader like this?
Good question, and I think that the tornado is, depending on how you want to look at it, and it's possibly both, was certainly a burden. You come into office and within a month, you have this devastating tornado that makes you have to probably puts on hold a lot of little transition things and housekeeping things that you wanted to take care of, initiatives. So it puts you on your back foot. You have to deal with the crisis. On the other hand, it does give you a certain grace period, and I don't mean this as any callousness toward the people who suffered from the tornado. So I don't want to sound like, well, there's a good side to this. No, there's no good side to it, except possibly politically, is that for a while, quite honestly, bluntly, you can write off possible missteps to, well, we were busy dealing with the tornado. So, but I think a first year is fair to anybody. So Did she get a little more time? I think she certainly, there's no shortage of people who are willing to criticize right away. I think the tornado at least blunted that to say, well, how come she hasn't done this, this, and this for all the things she promised? I think she was allowed to push those things off a little bit. But I would think come the 1-year anniversary, they're going to expect more than just, I handled the tornado well, or as well as anybody could. It's a disaster. And I think the one thing that if anybody, when I hear people in the community praising Kara Spencer, it seems to be at least that there seemed to be a willingness to work with people, which didn't always seem to be the case with the previous administration. It was sort of a friendliness to city residents that didn't sort of shine forth from the Jones administration. So I think she's at least gotten a lot of good marks from that. And will people be able to point to things during the tornado and say, you could have done this better, you could have done this better? Yeah, and those are fair criticisms. But my guess is anybody in that position is going to make a misstep or two in the face of such a devastating challenge.
And before we let you go, speaking of Bob O'Loughlin, we're going to have him in studio on Thursday. And what do you know about his new downtown entertainment district idea? I know he's gotten some good news from Jefferson City on some government funding. Do you know much about it, Joe?
Other than in very general terms, and the bit of discussion I've had that people have asked me, and I would say the same to you, is I think there's a couple of undeniable facts. As downtown St. Louis goes, so goes St. Louis. I mean, in any city, and I don't think that's true just here. That's true everywhere. You need to have a certain vibrancy in your downtown area. I remember a lot of people credited a guy with the planning commission for the city who many, many years ago when they were closing Sportsman's Park up on Grand and Dodier, and they wanted to build the new ballpark out in what is Earth City area. And they said, no, we've got to have that ballpark. We've got to have the Cardinals in the city. So when Busch Stadium, with the original number 2, whatever, the one that opened in 1966, was downtown basically because a couple of people have said, if that stadium's not there, this downtown dies. And it was in a remarkable feat of looking into the future, and it was absolutely true. And I think it's still true. Downtown has to do well. So when we come up with ideas to make downtown an interesting, exciting, and emphasis on safe place to be, that allows then that success, for the lack of a better word, to spread out. But if downtown becomes a place that no one wants to go, that becomes devastating to trying to make the rest of the city work. So I don't know a lot of the details, and there may be problems with it, but the notion that they're talking about it, I think, is a good idea. And people say, well, we need to be spending in our neighborhoods. Your neighborhoods will die if downtown dies. And to me, it's really not that complicated.
Joe, good stuff. We appreciate it. We'll talk next week. Thank you, sir.
All right. See you guys.
Joe Holloman from the Post-Dispatch.
Frank and I love the movie The Sandlot. If you like the movie too, or if you've never seen it, you should. It's going to be showing right here at Westport Plaza on Friday night. A free movie to bring the family down, the grandkids, everybody. It's just a really fun event, and it's all part of Christmas in July, brought to you by KTRS and our friends at the Salvation Army, as well as Westport here. It's part of our big drive to be able to collect as many toys as we can in the month of July to help support the Salvation Army and the incredible work they do with their Angel Tree Toy Town program to distribute toys to thousands and thousands of needy kids in our area. And we know that need is going to be even greater this year because of the some 2,000 plus kids who have been impacted by the tornadoes. So we're going to be adding new numbers of families that need a little extra support this year. And our friends at the Salvation Army are what makes it happen. And so many of our business friends here in St. Louis, friends of KTRS who own companies, are doing such a good job of supporting us in our efforts to collect toys for Christmas in July. You can drop off, go to ktrs.com, find out all the different businesses we're partnering with where you can drop off a new unwrapped toy to make sure that somebody, a child in our area, has a great Christmas this year. Thanks to KTRS, the Salvation Army as well.
Retiring soon? That's great. Do you know all the things that could impact your monthly income now and for the rest of your life? If you don't prepare, the IRS could be one of your biggest beneficiaries of your assets, not your kids. On top of that, there are many more risks that could sabotage that perfect dream retirement. Don't let that happen. Call me, Tim Schultz, or Patrick Wiegers at 314-619-1283 or visit us on the website, pioneerwealthmgmt.com.
You know, over the years, Lordo's has become part of the family for many, many St. Louis families. For 80 years, they've been helping St. Louis families with all of the jewelry needs, whether it's the diamond ring, a diamond ring, maybe something for St. Patrick's Day, something for an anniversary, Valentine's Day. Throughout the years and throughout the calendar, it's Lordo's as your go-to. Whether it's men or women, you want to repurpose something or buy something new, Lordo's Diamonds in the heart of Ladue on Clayton Road. You see, it's a family business. The family's been running it for years, and they learned it from their father, who learned it from their father. And so that family jeweler, it's where generations of St. Louisans go. Grandparents have gone there. Your grandkids will go there. Right there in Ladue on Clayton Road, across the street from a Norman Rockwell-esque firehouse, is Lordo's Diamonds. Go in, make a friend, and make them your family jeweler, because you can thank me later. 314-432-8008 or online, lordosdiamonds.com.
I'm Mark Miller, owner of Miller Furniture and Mattress, your home for quality American-made furniture since 1927. We offer the largest selection of Amish-made furniture in the St. Louis area, plus quality living room furniture from Flex Steel and Smith Brothers. We carry top-quality mattresses from world-famous brands like Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, and Chatham & Wells. Shop our Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, and Ellisville showrooms. At Miller Furniture, we put the family in furniture.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Drury Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Drury Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Drury Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Every Friday, tune into the weekly Golf Course Spotlight, brought to you by Yingling Flight, the next generation of light beer, and by Park North Golf Club, Edwardsville's newest golf entertainment venue. So, join us every Friday to learn more about the St. Louis area golf experience, right here on The Frank and Jill Show.
Want a song?
Surround my mind like the song on the radio.
Want a quote? It's the song and quote of the day on the Frank and Jill Show. Right here on the Big 550 KTRS.
Welcome back, everybody. Second hour of the Frank and Jill Show. Jill Farmer, along with Frank Cusimano. Are you a Linda Ronstadt fan at all, or were you a Linda Ronstadt fan?
You're no good, you're no good.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was with Jerry Brown for a long time there. She's so talented. She's had a couple different careers, hasn't she?
Yeah, I mean, I think
came
she
back
and came back. Yeah, had a 90s comeback as well. Big, very, very big in the 70s as well. Her birthday today, and she turned 79 years old.
Wow.
She has, I can't remember, some kind of autoimmune. It's either or some kind of neurological issue. And we talked about it a little bit yesterday with Julie on the show. I can't remember if it's Parkinson's or MS, but is no longer able to sing, which is heartbreaking because her voice was incredible.
Google says it's a Parkinson's-like brain disorder.
Okay. But it has impacted her vocal
Yes.
strength. I think I saw on a 60-Minute show a couple of years ago. And I love all of her big hits. You mentioned You're No Good. But my favorite body of her work is when she did 2 albums along with Dolly Parton and Emmylou Harris in the 90s called Trio. And this is one of my favorite songs, which features her from that Trio album. I got to listen a little longer. It's those harmonies. The song is High Sierras. Again, Linda Ronstadt, Dolly Parton, and Emmylou Harris, their voices blend really, really well. When my kids were very little, I had newborns, that was one of those albums that I would play when I was walking them around trying to get them to stop fussing and go to sleep, and it's one of my faves.
That's a lot of talent. I mean, Emmylou Harris was big.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she won a ton of Grammys.
Yeah, and she still is, I think, singing some, and is just, again, she's, you know how there's some musicians that are other musicians' favorite musicians before they make it into the mainstream?
Yes.
Brandi Carlile, I think, has always been in that category as well, and Emmylou Harris was that. And that, therefore, she was always somebody who partnered up and paired with other great musicians and made great music.
I love that when the musicians kind of get together. Like, I think David Bowie and Queen did something. Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell, Ain't No Mountain High Enough.
Yeah. Under Pressure, of course, Freddie Mercury and David Bowie. It's one of my favorite songs.
Well,
for
even
sure.
the movie we just saw, Joan Baez with
Dylan.
Dylan, yeah. I mean, they were
Of course,
on stage a lot
that was
together.
a friends with benefits kind of situation. It wasn't
That's
just
true.
The harmony wasn't purely musical, shall we say? Speaking of musicians,
Johnny Cash too with June Carter, right?
Yeah. Speaking of great musicians, I'm so glad you set us up with this conversation. Oh, I think one of your favorite and the greatest musicians that through the 80s was recently featured on the Today Show. Rick Springfield on the Today Show talking about Jesse's Girl and the hit that
Sorry, I missed that one.
skyrocketed him. He's been a little, let's just call it heftier through the years when I've seen him in reunions, and he's he was looking very fit and slender. So might have been able to, like many of us, be able to get a little support from the GLP-1 weight loss, but I think he's looking pretty darn good in that.
And how old is he now?
I looked it up and I've already forgotten. I think is he late 60s or 70s, somewhere in there, I think.
So did you like him more like just physically than like Sean Cassidy or David Cassidy? Was Springfield the guy?
So different eras for me. So Sean Cassidy was younger, like elementary school, and then Rick Springfield was more mature as I was maturing into the junior high years.
What about like Leif Garrett? Wasn't he kind of a heartthrob back
Yes,
then?
but again, that was in the in my elementary school year. Put the posters up.
Rick Springfield is 75.
Thank you. Yeah, he looks. Would you agree? After you cut that, so you saw him on the Today Show. Doesn't he look pretty good for 75?
Yeah,
very.
I'm looking at him right now. Looks strong.
Yeah, we chose that to be able to highlight that appearance because I know you enjoy talking about him and thinking about him a lot. Yeah. He's kind of up there with the new Sylvester Stallone for you, kind of, isn't he?
That's right. He's my all-time favorite, and that song is just great.
Yeah, I know. We just can't say enough about it here on the Frank and Jill Show. We also, for reals, as my kids would say, can't say enough about our friend Ryan Raphael, of course, one of the people supporting the Salvation Army toy drive as well, because he cares about what happens in our community and he cares about what happens to you as you're turning 65 and retirement is approaching. He's in the right business because he wants to help people who are finding themselves in a situation where it feels like there's not a lot of help out there. And by that, I mean, there's a lot of information being thrown at you. You know this already. If you have turned 65 or retirement is approaching or getting close, you get bombarded, and I mean bombarded, of course, with all the flyers and all the information, with all the different companies trying to sell you their plan, pretending that they have you covered and they'll take care of you no matter what. But there's a lot of variation between plans, and there's a lot of variation between individual people's needs. How do supplements differ from Advantage plans? And in the last few years, things like dental and vision being included, and the Part D prescription plan, my gosh, you need almost almost a PhD to understand all of that. And Ryan does understand all of it. It's what he does. He lives, eats, and breathes it, and he makes it simple for people like us to understand it as well, which is why he needs to be on your team if you are beginning the process of understanding your own Medicare enrollment, or if you are already enrolled and you have questions and you wonder if you want to be looking toward potentially making a change in the future. MedicareManSTL.com, or give him a call. This is his cell phone, 314-368-6808. The Medicare Man, make sure you tell him we sent you.
And now, KTRS weather from the John Beal Roofing Weather Desk.
We're stuck in a pattern where humidity will continue to ride high at least through the weekend and probably beyond. And today, let's be ready for some spotty to scattered storms to develop this afternoon. They'll fade away as we head into this evening. Not everybody gets rain today, but if you do get caught under one of these, some briefly strong winds and very heavy rain are possible. 89 should do it for the high, but the heat index touches 95. Looking at dry time tonight, under partly cloudy skies, down to 75 for the low. And then for Wednesday, it's hot, 93, top heat index tomorrow at 101, partly cloudy with a lower 20% chance of storms on Wednesday. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers for the Big 550 KTRS.
John Beal Roofing is the home of the lowest price roofing guarantee. Get a free estimate today at johnbealroofing.com.
The Missouri Laborers Union and their contractors invest in people, making them extraordinary. How? Through training, creating careers, providing good wages, having superior health insurance, and a strong retirement. These are just a few of the many ways they invest in their members. The Missouri Laborers Union and their contractors understand the importance of having a strong workforce, and it starts with investing in people. Go to buildunion.com for more information.
Hey, it's Heidi, and I feel very lucky to love where I live. And I know Lauren Risley feels the same. And her team at Lauren Risley Realty wants you to experience that same great feeling. One of their mottos at Lauren Risley Realty is love where you live or move. Dream homes are their specialty. Actually, they do a lot of things right, because when you buy or sell a home, it's not just a transaction. What the Lauren Risley team does is build relationships, and I've seen that firsthand. So if you have plans to buy, sell, invest, or just have a question about any of it, call Lauren Risley Realty, 314-775-0684. That's 314-775-0684. You can also email Lauren at hello@laurenrisleyrealty.com.
How's your bathroom? Cracked tiles, outdated fixtures, a tub that's seen better days? Yeah, we all know the feeling. At Michael's Baths, they specialize in affordable bathroom remodeling that fits any budget and any lifestyle. You want a walk-in shower? You betcha. Better storage or a fresh modern look? Simple, clean, and budget-friendly. No surprises, no gimmicks, and most importantly, no pressure. Call Michael's Baths today for a free estimate, 636-775-0800 or michaelsbaths.com. Your dentures no longer fit? Maybe you're missing a tooth or several teeth. Visit Dr. Bowen for Simply Secure Dentures and Dental Implants, the cutting-edge, high-quality dental implants that replace all the teeth in your mouth, and it starts as low as $7,000, not the $35,000 that others charge. If you're only missing a few teeth, Dr. Bowen can permanently replace those with something you don't have to take in and out of your mouth. Learn more at simplysecuredentures.com and get the care you need and the teeth you want at Bowen Dental Care or simplysecuredentures.com.
Kuna Food Service has been the trusted food supplier in the Midwest since 1918. For over 100 years, Kuna Food Service has been distributing the highest quality food products to some of your favorite restaurants while delivering superior customer service. When a restaurant puts their trust in Kuna Food Service, they get a team that truly cares about their success. That's why at Kuna, they like to say, they're big enough to handle it, yet small enough to care. Check them out online at kunafoodservice.com.
Permajack of St. Louis is synonymous with foundation repair and basement waterproofing across the St. Louis region. They know when you get water in your basement following a storm or when the snow melts, it means you have a problem. Make sure your basement doesn't leak or flood with Permajack of St. Louis. Permajack's basement waterproofing experts can perform a complete inspection of your basement to determine the problem and design a solution to keep water from entering and damaging your home. The solution solution could be as simple as crack repair, or a sump pump, or more comprehensive like exterior waterproofing, or an internal perimeter drainage system. No matter the solution, your basement will be dry with Hometown Permajack. Schedule a free inspection and estimate by visiting Permajack of STLewis.com. That's Permajack of STLewis.com. Permajack, foundation repair and waterproofing. Done right.
And welcome back. This is the Frank and Jill Show, the Big 550 KTRS. It's about pickleball, baby. The MLP bringing the competition to the heart of the Midwest with the Marathon MLP St. Louis event. Joining us now is the owner of the Shock, Ross Shavitz. Ross, good to be with you. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me back.
Okay, first of all, the amount, this is called the biggest tournament ever. Give me some numbers here.
Yeah, so this is going to be the biggest ever Major League Pickleball event, period. And what that means for us is this will be the first time the league has hosted in a pro-level indoor arena. We've done festival style historically. They've generally been in traditional pickleball venues, but this is the first time we'll be in a pro-level arena, and we're proud to do it here at Chaffetz in St. Louis.
How many teams roughly, and then what are we thinking attendance-wise? It starts on Friday?
We start Thursday, so the events will run Thursday through Sunday. The Shock will play at least one match every day. There's 22 teams in Major League Pickleball. This event in particular will feature 10 teams. Fortunate enough, we've got the top two teams, us and the Dallas Flash, here in town for this event. We'll face off Saturday night, but it's going to be an incredibly jam-packed schedule. We'll run every single day from 11 to about 7 p.m., so unlimited pickleball.
Take us back to what got you guys interested in pickleball in the first place. I mean, obviously very successful business people, you and your dad as well. What was the spark that said, I think we want to be on the early floors, if you will, before this elevator takes off of pickleball?
Yeah, so thank you for that compliment. We try to consider ourselves to be astute investors, and we invest in everything from technology, real estate, but sports and media in particular is a very strong focus for us. So rewind to 2022, and we had our eyes on this pickleball thing as it was exploding really during the pandemic. And Major League Pickleball had announced in the fourth quarter of 2022 that they were going to go through an expansion exercise. They were going to sell 2 new franchises. So it was early 2023 when they formally launched that expansion process. And there were probably 45 different teams that had bidded, groups I should say, that had bidded to be new expansion franchises. And it came down to us and the DeVos family, well known for owning the Orlando Magic, and we did whatever we had to do to get this team. Back then, although this thing has been growing quickly and was considered to be an enterprise at that point, it was very, very early and arguably immature in the growth of Major League Pickleball, and we felt like St. Louis was the perfect market for this sport and for this team, just given its passion and its fandom here. And believe it or not, St. Louis is the 6th most popular town or city, I should say, in the country for pickleball. So it just made a lot of sense for a variety of those reasons. My mom was the one that historically had played paddle and said, you guys got to buy this team or we're killing you. And so we did everything we could to get the franchise. And here we are 2 years later, and we're on top of the standings. We consider ourselves to be the Dallas Cowboys of pickleball, and we're doing everything we can to build the business, and we're excited to have this event here.
And what I like about your team, the Shock, is you have like a minor league team, a AAA team that I know many people that are on, and you guys use them and they travel all around the country.
Yeah, we're building this thing from all angles. So for us, it's not just about the pros and the elite of the elite, but as you guys know, pickleball is really an amateur sport, and that's where the accessibility really starts.
Not the way Frank and I play. It's pretty professional.
But what's unique about pickleball is you can be as young as 7 or 8, and you can be as old as literally in your 90s and play this sport. And so that's what we're trying to capitalize on, is the accessibility. And so for us, we're building all different angles of the business, and we're trying to create inroads between the amateur and the rec level all the way up to the pro level. And so the best way for us to do that is to introduce what we did this last year, which is our minor league pickleball operation. And it creates a bridge for people that are as low as 3-0 or 3-5 to compete with up to 5-0s and 5-5s, and get in front of our pros, do clinics with our pros, and have really efficient ways to tie into the franchise.
That's very cool.
What are you, by the way?
I'm about a 3-8 if you ask Duper. If you ask me, I'm probably a 4-4-1.
And your dad?
He's probably 3-0, 3-5.
Okay.
How about
okay.
Josh Church? You said he can drive the ball a little bit because he's got a tennis background, the SLU coach we're talking about.
Yeah, Josh is a hell of a player. I mean, tennis background, incredible drive. That's how he beats you. He's a little bit, Josh, if you're listening, no harm here, but he's a little bit slower in the kitchen, not too great in the dinks, but he's got a hell of a drive, and he can beat you from deep on the baseline no matter where he is on the
Needs
court.
to work on his hand speed, huh? So let's talk for somebody who maybe is just dabbling in pickleball, learning to play, having a good time. What are they going to be able to expect when they're watching professional pickleball for the first time, maybe?
Yeah, well, the best way to describe it for those who haven't seen it is essentially a hybrid between ping pong and tennis, right? So you get the speed and the proximity of ping pong, but you get the strategy and the placement of tennis.
The length of the points in a pro game is just miraculous to me.
Yes, they can be very long. They can be drawn out. There's a high level of patience at certain times, and depending upon who you're playing, there can be an incredible level of speed and adrenaline and intensity and hand battles. So, if you've played pickleball recreationally, you've probably played a slow and maybe more calculated game. If you haven't seen it at the pro level, it is absolutely electric. I mean, the speed is like nothing you could imagine. You're 8 feet away from your opponent, drilling the ball hand to hand, 60 miles an hour. And the Shock in particular, our two boys actually stand at the top of the statistics for hands battles. So if you like speed and you like intensity, especially in pickleball, the St. Louis Shock is the team you should watch to see that intensity. It's an incredibly quick game, especially in person.
All right, so let's go back. So you and your dad and your mom are sitting around a table, and your mom is actually the one who says, we got to delve into this as a business? Whose idea?
My dad and I tend to be the ones that are astute investors and have a price at which everything makes sense. My mom was the one that pushed us over the ledge and kind of said, forget the price, we're getting this thing no matter what it costs.
And she was right. Let's give her some credit where credit's due.
Fast forward to now, it's been probably 24 months, and the franchise values have probably 5x since we bought this thing.
Really?
So it turned out to be an incredible investment.
Yeah, let's listen to that. Listen to your moms, I think, is something that we can all take away from that for sure. So going back to that, thinking as an investment, you guys are astute investors to where we are now. In addition to the 5x return on investment, what else has surprised you about how this has taken off?
Well, really, it's opened up incredible inroads for us to build an enterprise around the team, right? So we're building essentially a hub and spoke model and a pickleball ecosystem, as we call it. So we've got the team at the center of that ecosystem, and then we got 4 or 5 ancillary investments around it. So we're a large investor, and I sit on the board of what's called the Pickler, which is the country's largest franchise operation. We've got 60 facilities open, 300 are sold and will be open in the next 12 months. We have an investment, and I'm the vice chairman of a company called Pickle Tile, which is the largest court construction company in the U.S. that integrates technology access, infrared cameras, heating and cooling, you name it, fully custom courts. We also own a piece of what's called Duper, which is the equivalent of a golf handicap, essentially technology rating system. We just acquired Vulcan, which is a legacy brand in the space and a leader in balls, paddles, and equipment. And we have Stack Athletics now, which is the leader in athleisure in pickleball. Think of it as the Lululemon for pickleball. So for us, the team was really the inroad to all of this, and now we're building an ecosystem. I tell people pickleball is exploding, but it's still in its infancy. So I'm incredibly confident that 5 to 10 years from now, this thing is going to be 10 to 20x, no matter which line of business you look at. But I don't know which is going to grow the fastest. So we're diversifying from facilities to construction to the team to rec to pro to technology. I mean, you name it, we want to be in every single element of the sport.
Do you think any family is invested as heavily as the Shavitz family in this?
There are a few that I think are thinking about this in similar fashions to how we are. Tom Dundon, who's well known in the sports space, he owns the Carolina Hurricanes hockey team. He's one of the largest investors in the league. He also owns a franchise. He's diving, arguably as deep, if not deeper, than we are. And then you've got some very prominent families like the DeVos family, who I mentioned. They own the Orlando Magic and a variety of other sports assets. So I think everybody that is in this and really deep in the league level is recognizing all the variety of lines of businesses that are adjacent to these things and that they can tie in. And so smart people like us, patting myself on the back, are really trying to round this thing out and, again, build an ecosystem around their franchise.
Of course, you're listening to Ross Chaffetz, if you're just tuning in, talking about the biggest pro pickleball event coming to St. Louis, 17th through the 20th of July. From the Royal Banks of Missouri text line, one of our listeners would like to know, is there has there been any good homegrown talent in professional pickleball? Anybody from St. Louis making a splash?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a couple pros from St. Louis. AJ Kohler, who's on tour right now, still lives in St. Louis, does some community stuff for us, does clinics for us. Dylan Frazier is probably the most well-known, born and raised St. Louis boy, hell of a player. Plays at the highest level in pro. I think he's top 5 in men's doubles right now. So there's a lot of talent coming out of this region here. And it's thanks to some of the facilities and the rec and the amateur development that we have here on the ground, and why St. Louis, as I mentioned, is the 6th most popular pickleball region in the country. We really have a grassroots movement here. And when you think about where pickleball, traditionally you'd think players would come from, it's environments like Florida or like Texas or like California. Play. Yeah, but surprisingly, there's a lot of talent here in St. Louis that is maturing and has made it to the pro level.
All right, let's get technical here. I guess maybe 3 or 4 years ago, third shot drop was vogue. Everybody had to do that. If you thought you were good, you got to go third shot drop. But am I seeing a trend that it's now a third shot drive, or maybe taking a little bit off at like a 75%? What are we seeing on that third shot?
Well, I think what you're referring to, Frank, is the evolution of the game, right? So 5 to 8 years ago, when you had the original goats of the game, like a Simone Jardim, it was a slower and more meticulous and calculated game where you were dropping your thirds, you were getting to the kitchen, and you were trying to be as artful as you can about your placement. Now what's happening is the league has essentially inverted, and the top talent is all at or below 20 to 22 years old, right? Number 1 player in the world is a woman named Annalie Waters. I believe she just turned 18. Incredible.
Number 1 player in the world is 18.
And arguably the most dominant player in any sport, period. I mean, she is absolutely astonishing. And then on the men's side, you have a guy named Ben Johns, who is, I believe, 24 years old. He's sort of known as the GOAT on the men's side. But point is, these players that, were some of the best in the world 4 or 5 years ago are still great, but the game has evolved in a way that it's now a speed game. So you have hands battles. As I mentioned, our boys, Gabe Tardio and Hayden Patriquin, are 2 of the quickest in the game. So now you have a speed game, which not only makes it, in my opinion, harder to play, but also, fortunately, makes it easier and more enjoyable to watch, right? So you turn on a broadcast and you're seeing massively quick exchanges at the kitchen, 50-mile-an-hour pickleballs being exchanged from 4 to 5 feet away. So it's a more enjoyable experience, a more high-intensity experience, and that's really the evolution of this game. It's getting younger and younger, which makes it incredibly fortunate for us, new pros engaging in the sport.
I love watching basketball at Chaffetz because there's truly every seat in the house is a great seat. How is it going to be as a pickleball venue? How hard is it to be able to convert that center court to something that everybody can see from the entire arena?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's going to be hard. I believe it's incredibly opportunistic for us because these events have traditionally been held in pickleball facilities. This is the first time that we have full AV and event production capabilities that we've never had in Major League Pickleball.
Arena seating.
Exactly. So we've got arena seating, sight lines like never before. Major League Pickleball has traditionally had, bleacher seating. So you'll have incredible sight lines here. The audio video will be great. We're going to have fun player introductions, and we're going to have top of the world class, production for ESPN2 on Sunday. So we're trying to improve the viewer experience in as many ways as possible. We typically find that when you have these Major League Pickleball events, about 60% of people that come out have seen these before, and 40% are a brand new audience. So our job is to engage these people and to keep these people coming back. And just as much as we want them to enjoy the sport of pickleball, we want them to enjoy, professional level, family style production.
And then ticket-wise, how do people get involved here? It's Thursday through Sunday.
Thursday through Sunday, the Shock will play at least 1 match every day. We'll be headlined by a rematch against the Dallas Flash Saturday night. Sunday morning, we'll have the Brooklyn Pickleball team on ESPN2. We're also going to have a whiteout Sunday morning. First 1,200 people get a Shock replica jersey. We've seen the Billikens have a lot of success with the whiteouts and the giveaways. But to answer your question, MLPSTL.com is where you can get all the information on tickets. We have 1-day tickets. 4 days are going to be your best value, but MLPSTL.com is where you can find your tickets. And if you're listening here, I got a 10% discount for you. Use code MLPSTL on that same website. You'll get 10% off 1-day passes and 4-day passes as well. It's going to be a really incredible environment. I encourage people to come out for as many days as possible. You'll never have experienced anything like this.
Everybody's playing, and to see guys and girls at the highest form, I recommend it this weekend. Final thought. Let's just say you're playing your father. It's a really competitive match, and your dad makes a great play, great hustle, and he gets to the ball, but he lobs it to you. He's looking up at you as you're about to slam. Do you slam it right at him?
Yeah, I slam it right at him. I probably put him at his feet, and I do it so quickly that he doesn't even see it go by him, so there's no hard feelings.
Yeah, and Frank's not telling you the whole story here. He played with his 8.5-month pregnant daughter this weekend, and according to his wife yesterday, no mercy, made her run, and she still beat him.
Well, that's the beauty of the game. You can
Well, I
play
don't know
from
about
8
that.
to 90. Totally accessible.
Yes. Great to see you, sir. And on the television side, we're going to be talking to your father a little bit later today. We're excited about that. Thanks so much for being a part of the program.
Thanks, guys.
We'll be right back.
Travel iconic Route 66 to Springfield, Illinois. Experience one of America's most beloved presidents, Abraham Lincoln. Explore historic Route 66 that runs throughout the city. Discover vibrant arts and architecture, including the Illinois State Capitol and Frank Lloyd Wright's Dana Thomas House. You can snap a photo as you check out attractions including the Route 66 mural and Wayside Exhibit Trail, Cozy Dog Drive-In, and the Legends Neon Sign Park. Start your exploration today at visitspringfieldillinois.com.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be signs that your digestive system isn't working at its best? But taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil supports your daily digestive health using a special plant-based fiber called psyllium. Psyllium works by forming a gel in your digestive system to trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Metamucil's gelling action also helps to promote heart health and slows down sugar absorption to promote healthy blood sugar levels. Start feeling lighter and more energetic by taking Metamucil every day.
A weekend at home or a weekend RVing? Staring at your neighbor's security lights or counting stars? Watching the Travel Channel or sitting around the campfire with friends? Break away. Get out of town in an RV from Byerly in Eureka.
For the rest of your life, you gotta be there. Byerly RV.
The University of Missouri St. Louis is committed to providing top-ranked education. More than 80% of our students receive financial aid. At UMSL, more is what moves us. Find your more and explore your financial aid options at more.umsl.edu.
It's Julie Buck here to tell you that the patio is open at Bishop's Post right next to Chesterfield Mall. Get your reservations in now and go to Bishop's Post. You will love it. Tell them Julie Buck sent you, bishopspost.com.
I'm Mark Miller, owner of Miller Furniture and Mattress, your home for quality American-made furniture since 1927. We offer the largest selection of Amish-made furniture in the St. Louis area, plus quality living room furniture from Flex Steel and Smith Brothers. We carry top-quality mattresses from world-famous brands like Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, and Chatham & Wells. Shop our Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, and Ellisville showrooms. At Miller Furniture, we put the family in furniture.
The Bommarito Automotive Group is Missouri's #1 automotive group. They've sold over 1 million vehicles by giving you a better price, a better selection, and more for your trade. You can shop them online today at bommarito.com.
Highly recommend you go grab some delicious lunch today at 3 Bay Barbecue and Bakery. Delicious barbecue, delicious sandwiches, delicious burgers, and some of the best desserts and baked items you can find at any restaurant in the entire St. Louis area. Of course, it's located Phillips 66 Station, Clayton Road, and 141, where the service bay is used to be. More than one person, when we have reminded them about how good it is, has said, yeah, they kind of steered the car in a slightly different direction, grabbed lunch there, and all I hear is very, very positive reviews when anybody makes the excellent choice to go grab lunch at 3 Bay Barbecue and Bakery. Same thing when you plan your office party or a big event. They do excellent job at catering as well. Also, even if you swing by a little slightly after lunch, you can always pick up some delicious items to have for dinner tonight as well. Check out the menu at 3baybbqandbakery.com, or better yet, visit them for lunch today. And, I always love, Connor, a great place to eat is also a great place to do something else fun. And Milo's on the Hill of course, the very famous Bocce Club, been around for many, many
of course.
years.
Yes. The name didn't recognize to me right away.
And it's just, I mean, when you talk about an immaculate vibe, we've taken friends there from out of town for years who had never heard of such a thing, didn't know about the sport. You can pick it up quickly. You realize that people that do it for a long time are going to be way better at than you, but it doesn't matter. And they also have really, really good sort of Italian style, bar food. It's just really good. And the owner, Joel Wolmer, is going to be joining us Thursday on our weekly special segment, of course, sponsored by our friends at Kuna, which does a great job making great food at all kinds of restaurants.
You know what I
around
like?
St.
The
Louis.
last time I was there, I liked how many bocce, I don't know, courts there actually were. You know, it's not just like there's two and it fills up. They actually, there was quite a few that people were able to play on.
Yes, and I've had two friends of Italian descent. We need Frank here to break the tie. He had to take off for an important interview today for the last 5 minutes of the show here to break the tie here, because I've had two friends, grew up on the Hill, family that have pronounced it two different ways.
Oh, bocce or bocce.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So-
I don't know. And I'm not Italian, so I think they can, suffer my mispronunciation.
Right, and some words, it's kind of somewhere in between those two things. But it's a fun game, and it's a fun place to go, isn't it?
Yeah, I do like there.
And isn't it fun how I've been there before when there's some old timers there who've been going there for decades that are really good at the game, and then there'll be a family that'll do it with kids. It's definitely one of those that crosses the miles.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of old timers on the Hill, I would say. Sometimes you'll just see them sitting out or playing bocce or doing whatever. It seems like a nice day to day.
Yeah, 100%. And we have we had a good friend who had her 50th birthday party years ago. She's one of those people that didn't want people just sitting around, wanted an activity related to the party, and we had an absolute blast as well. So if you're not tired of me yet, stick around. John Carney is down in Naples, Florida, enjoying a vacation with his family, and so I get to sit in for the first part of the Carney Show with my good friend Julie Buck and my friend Max Foisey as well. We got some fun stuff that we're going to talk about on that show and some great guests today. Speaking of good food, Heavy Smoke Barbecue is going to be in for Restaurant Tuesday. Child psychologist is going to be talking about something that if you're a parent or grandparent, you're going to want to hear more about. And of course, later today, Heidi Glaus show. The band is back together. And Josh and Bob are all together with Heidi today as well. So make sure you keep it on your dial right here. We have a fantastic show for you tomorrow, including our Back to the Future segment, where we're going to be talking about the movie Back to the Future with Tariq Khan. Ryan Kroll from St. Louis Magazine has some breaking news you're going to want to hear more about as well. And Michael Steinberg, some exciting developments and projects here in St. Louis doing big things for our city. So keep your dial right here. We'll be back here tomorrow with you, and I'll join you on the John Carney Show right after the news.
One in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals.